Hi guys, Foxy here. This will be part 3 of What If Asuku Was a Wolf Dog in The Walking Dead. Now, I do want to apologize for the long wait. I know it has been too long. I started up school, then homework and tests and quizzes just kept piling and piling on. But I still have A's and B's. Woohoo to me! And also my sister, she made a few friends and is now bringing them over for sleepovers every single weekend. And there is no place in my house where it is dead silent or quiet. There's always going to be some sort of racket, some sort of craziness. I have no idea. And for me, I need like some bit of silence or someone to be away from me so I can do this. Because for me, my attention will be split in half just to see where the other person is. And I do believe I'm starting to get sick. I hate my system, my immunity. It's complete garbage. But it's not terrible. It's like mild garbage. But you get my point. I am probably getting sick because my dumbass does not like putting on shoes when it comes to walking over to my Nana's house. It's less than like 50 feet. Less than 50 feet. Hell, it's probably just 20 feet at even. So getting over to my Nana's house is fairly easy, and I don't want to go through the effort or 2 minutes on just putting on shoes and having to take them immediately off when I get to my Nana's house. So, yeah, I do not love wearing shoes, and my dumb ass walks on the cold pavement with nothing but pajamas, or sometimes a hoodie if I come right after school. So yeah, my dumb ass is probably getting sick. Either way, I have been talking too much. Now we are just going to get right into this thing, shall we? Our POV plan for today. Clear out the building, make sure no stragglers are left behind. B. After cleaning out the building, check for any useful supplies. If found, bring back to the current residence. C. If there's any extra supplies, baggage them up and put them in other rooms. Plan D. After 2 months or 2 weeks, or after so many days, we'll leave building to find another. Try to clear out the city, if possible, from The Walking Dead. If possible. Izuku set down his pen and paper and looked at it. It felt so novel, so different. When he was younger, he was able to write in a flash, hands not creaking or aching. But after the sports festival, his bones ached something awful, and the older he got, the worse it became. Soon, when thunderstorms struck and snowstorms came in, he could not write at all, nor handle anything with his fingers. They ached, and it wasn't just his fingers. His bones that were broken again and again and again. It hurt. His body ached. So now looking down at his fingers that also did ache, but not so badly, he felt amazed. Before he died, his body was nothing more but aches and pains. He barely could even get out of bed some days because of it. And whatever he would eat, he would throw up, which didn't fix any of his problems either. It only made him skinnier and scrawnier. Izuku sighed as he rubbed his head. Everything felt like it was in a fog. Over the 3 years that he was here, he never actually came to the realization that he was in a different world. Well, he knew that he was in a different world, but he was in a different body. He could pretend that he was someone else, lie and lie and lie to himself until he could believe it. But now, he couldn't. He couldn't lie to himself, drape himself in the cloak of darkness, hide behind the truth, the white light. He couldn't. Now he was being burned with it, and he hated it. He hated that he was in a different world, away from his family. His heart ached something awful, worse than his bones. His soul felt like it was going to shatter and crack into billions of pieces once again. The feeling hurt. It hurt so much. Izuku felt the vague urge to throw up. He wanted to cry, wanted to, so badly, and a few drops did come out, but that was it. His tear ducts were completely messed up after the war. Having shrapnel or whatever the hell flew into his eyes completely messed up his tear ducts. Only a few drops here and there could ever come up, and that's on a rare few occasions when his emotions are completely out of his control. With this realization, he leaped over the couch to the sink and kept banging on it until something hurt, something that would snap him out of this pain of the soul. It took a while. It took so long. Now his hands are bloody and scraped. And now there's something banging on his door. Bang, bang, bang. Scratch, growl. Izuku felt annoyed. He was so annoyed. Izuku, before he could think about it, ran towards the door and was about to jump and kick it right open into the monster's face. But he stopped. He stopped and screeched and rolled on the ground as he tripped, and face first into the door. That didn't help his predicament at all. Now it sounded like more of those monstrous creatures were out there. Izuku's own fingers dug into the wood. Well, not effectively, but it did leave a line of scratches down it. Now his fingernails ached. Izuku always hated when something got underneath his nails. It felt like there was something underneath his skin. Well, something was, kind of. Izuku shook his head. It was no time for that. No time to think of fingernails and skin. Izuku quickly rushed over to the kitchen and plucked out a butcher's knife. It wasn't too thin, nor did it wobble like cheap ones. It was sturdy and completely usable. It must have been very expensive as well. The metal was divine, almost pure black, and it had a nice sheen to it, and the grip was amazing. Izuku sighed. Izuku didn't want to do this. He didn't want to kill. But then again, they were already dead, and the more that are gone, the safer the world will be. With that thought in his mind, he turned around and drew up any memory he had. His family, his friends, anything from the past he drew up. It made himself believe that if they were on this world, far away from him, he would want to protect them. And the only way he could is by either finding them or by killing off all of these monstrous creatures. At that thought, he flung the door open. It clattered against the wall, while also hitting a few zombies away. Izuku's neck cracked, and a fierce grin appeared on his face. Let's get this boat on the road. He lunged, one knife plunging into the skull of the zombie. It almost got stuck, but with the force behind it and Izuku's movements, it plunged in and out quickly. Then, quick as lightning, all of the monsters were down. Holes in between their eyebrows, the sides of their heads. Hell, one or two of them had their heads completely chopped off, and their brains smattered on the carpet. The carpet once was a creamy whitish color, but now it was stained with dark black or red blood. With a deep breath in, Izuku ran. He ran. and he kept running, hitting any door that he could, hearing if there were any zombies out there. Then, hours later, he came back to the place that he was staying. All the zombies were dead, and there were so much food. Different electronics, different bedding. There was so many supplies. Izuku stared. He clearly did not have enough backpacks for all of them. With another sigh and a groan, he ran out and plunged himself in the city of the dead. Less than an hour later, he was back with nothing. Nothing was in his hands. That was until his door shut and pile after pile of backpacks, and from black to neon orange. There are so many different colors, sizes, and brands. But Izuku, quite frankly, didn't care. Izuku sat down and picked out what he wanted. Izuku was not greedy. It was not in his nature to be. But he couldn't help if there was too many cans of chicken noodle soup. Some days, you needed a good old Japanese breakfast to heal you right up. Or sometimes, you just need the novelty of noodles and chicken, which would heal you anytime, anywhere. No matter your suffering, it will heal you. So with that thought, Izuku, without hesitation, plucked up as many chicken can soups as he could, and promptly stuck them into his spatial space. It brought him so much glee. But Izuku would not take all of the special cans. No sirree, he will not. Then, hours later, yet again, now the moon was high in the sky, the stars bloomed like lilies. It was beautiful, but the roars of the monsters outside and the screams of the living filtered through. Well, there wasn't so much screaming. There was no longer humans in the city of the dead. But Izuku was awake. He was alive. And with a smile on his face, he tied the bags to each other and ran out. The next morning, if anyone came into the city, they would find bags upon bags. Well, anywhere that you could find them. Some were on rooftops, some were hanging in between buildings, some were on the street, some were inside of the buildings. But only in the buildings that were completely cleared from monsters and any valuable supplies. Izuku felt proud, but he knew that there were more supplies that were going to go bad soon. So with another groan, he cleared out another and another building, hoarding, sorting, and hanging up bag after bag of supplies. And on each bag, there was always a note from Izuku. He either hoped them luck on their journey throughout the apocalypse, or gave them strict instructions, or just wrote whatever he felt like on those bags. Izuku rolled his eyes while thinking of it. Gosh, I am going to become Kaminari with these memes, aren't I? Izuku shook his head. Kaminari would have had a blast here. Maybe. He always was playing some sort of zombie monster game. He'd probably be shrieking at the opportunity. A sour feeling crawled in Izuku's heart. Why did it have to be them? Them and not him. He was nothing. He was absolutely nothing compared to them. They were strong, they were smart, they were brave, they were everything that the world needed. The world did not need another deku, a useless person, a waste of space, a null, a inferior. They didn't need him. But yet they all died. and he didn't. Izuku remembered the expression on Present Mike's face as he saw his brain-dead husband just walking around blankly, head almost completely shaved off. It left a bitter note in his soul. Anger blossomed within his chest. It was rare that the Midoriyas became angry, but when they did, it took so much to calm them down. Not even the government could shut them down, quell their anger, until whatever angered them was either thrown out from the solar system or was died beneath their hands. Izuku was mad. He was mad. He was furious. He was enraged. Why? The world was never fair. Izuku knew that. But the world had to be fair for his family. The world was meant to. It was not meant to take away the people that he cared about, the people that he would gladly die for. But Izuku was not sure if he could live for them. But he will now. He will live, he will trudge on until all the monsters, the zombies, the walking dead, fell beneath his blade. He couldn't die like a gnoll. He couldn't die alone without some sort of something underneath his belt. With a deep inhale, he sat up, his heart aching, his bones creaking, his muscles spasming. His teeth were clenched. His tongue was bleeding from the force of the bite. A glare, a monstrous aura, bubbled and writhed underneath his skin and pooled out like pus from an infected wound. He kept breathing in and out, trying to quell the rage, to sharpen it, to spear it into a weapon that could help him. But there was so much of it, so much hatred. And without thinking about it, he jumped out of the window, landing on his forepaws and running. Lightning sparked against his skin. Black Whip was full on. It was wrapping and squeezing, plunging into the heads of the walkers as he ran past them. Broken trucks were moved or squashed underneath Black Whip. Soon Izuku's paws weren't even in the ground as floated him upwards. He moved like lightning. It pulsed around him, hitting buildings, breaking glass. Hell, even sending some to the ground. Izuku was mad. He was so angry. The sky slowly turned dark, and lightning boomed and thundered and crackled. Again and again it boomed and crackled. Izuku growled and moved faster and faster and faster. Soon there was nothing but a green blur moving throughout the city in no patterns at all. Then, with another boom and a shriek from the skies, one thick lightning bolt of green and red plunged within Izuku. And Izuku howled in pain. He writhed underneath the scorching feeling of electricity and fire. Izuku's fur was on end. His bones ached something fierce. A growl and a whine left his throat. His ears were pulled back. His legs were spasming. His tail in between his spasming legs. Izuku couldn't breathe. He couldn't even react as the walking dead slowly walked and lumbered over to him. His eyes couldn't even close shut as he saw his incoming doom towards him. But he was unwilling. His anger still was not quenched. The monsters were coming. He had to kill them. He had to kill. He had to save people. He was a hero, for fuck's sakes. And with that thought, the lightning that was arcing around him was absorbed into his skin. His muscles no longer ached. His brain was no longer fuzzed, nor was there the feeling of incomplete control. And without Izuku's realization, his fur no longer became soft and curly. Instead, porcupine spikes and lightning arced off him. A deep, menacing growl thundered throughout his chest, and the Walking Dead stumbled, and some of them even reeled back with a shriek and a howl. As Izuku lunged, his claws were black and shiny, metallic, and he sliced, he bit, he tore, he ripped the Walking Dead, and the 100 that surrounded him was now no more. And without realizing it, they soon turned into flame, then in ash, and they were gone. They were gone, and now we're in the sky. Izuku thought back, his mind reeling, moving so quickly. He thought and thought and thought and thought. The Walking Dead used to be people, used to be living souls until whatever catastrophe came upon this. Whatever made this, Izuku will figure it out, and he will help. He will help until his dying breath, because what else does he have to live for? He cannot live for himself, but he can live for people, and he shall die for them as well. With a lingering howl, he ran off, claws digging within the pavement, and he ran as lightning arced off him and into the sky. Far away in the mountains, there was one person with dark eyes staring off into the city. His hat covered him from the rain as it started to pour and pour and pour and pour. He looked and saw it, the lightning arcing and moving as if it was alive and was furious. His heart ached. In fear or in sadness, he did not know. But he turned his head and wished. He wished tomorrow wouldn't be a freak show. But with another plaster of a happy smile, he moved on. His dark hair now soaked, along with his pale body, he moved into his tent. Gosh darn it, Glenn, you're all soaking wet like a cat. You mean cat and dog. Yeah, it's almost quite literally raining them. I wouldn't be surprised if the Walking Dead joined them as well. Oh, shut up, I'm tired and cold. Well, that's what happens when you try to go out in the rain. First off, when I went out there, it was not raining, nor did it show any signs of a fucking storm. Glenny Bear, you swore. Shut up. The night soon went dark and silent. Hello guys, I really hope that you love this video and, well, I don't know. Just tell me how you, think about it. I don't know. For me, I either have to write the shit or try to figure out something about it. I don't know. My head hurts. Guys, I have been taking coding classes. Or class. I haven't taken coding classes. Just one class. And my head aches something fierce. I'm just looking at this language and I'm like, who the fuck made you? And now my brain hurts. I feel like I'm having an aneurysm. Probably my brain is bleeding. I'm thinking too hard. Ugh, I want to die. No, I don't. Ugh, school's going to torture me to death. Guys, I have so much complaints on the top of my head, but I have to leave before you guys become gray-haired and wrinkly. But either way, adios, and hopefully my headache or my aneurysm does not kill me. Love y'all, goodbye, and I hope y'all have a good day or night. And again, I am so sorry for the long-ass wait. I really am. And right after this video, I am just planning to make part 4, 5, and 6, hopefully, because this took too damn long.